After the memorial of Second World War and Holodomor Museum, I continued walking up by Lavra Street. Suddenly, I spotted a gate church of the Trinity, a historic church of the ancient Kiev Monastery of Kyiv Pechersk Lavra. It was founded by Sviatoslav II Yaroslavich, the Grand Prince of Kiev. The church was finished in 1108 as a part of Pechersk Lavra fortification. After I bought a ticket for approximately $4.30 with all the possible access places, I've entered through the gate church and the great heritage of Eastern Christianity was in my eye spot. The holy Dormition Caves Lavra historically occupied large territory which is at present notionally divided into two parts. On the so-called territory of the Upper Lavra, the National Historical and Cultural Preserve operates, and the monastery acts on its lower part where the monks live and prayers are daily offered up. The contemporary Kiev Caves Lavra and a few buildings of the former Lavra guest house are situated on the territory of the near and far caves. As I walked forward, I visited a couple of museums which contain a lot of artifacts connected to the history of Kiev Pechersk Lavra and can be really useful for students or scientists who collect information about this place. To be able to visit museums, you just need to show your ticket, which is universal for almost any accessible places, and museum personnel will help you to orient in exhibition halls. Next place I would really like to recommend to visit is Great Lavra Bell Tower, which is the main bell tower of Kiev Pechersk Lavra. If you are a photographer, then this is the place you need to make great photos from high spot of view. If you have binoculars, bring them too. Trust me, you won't regret. This is one of the best places for observations of Kiev as well. The bell tower was the highest freestanding bell tower at the time of its construction in 1731 to 1745. It was designed by the architect Johann Gottfried Schadl. Its total height with the Christian cross is 96.5 meters, 316 feet. By following up by the old spiral staircase, you will reach spacious viewing area. Here's a good look on Dormition Cathedral, which was built in the 11th century and was destroyed during the World War II, a couple of months after the Nazi Germany troops occupied the city of Kiev and the controversial 1941 Krещатик explosions that destroyed that city's main street. According to the Soviet authorities, the church was destroyed by the advancing German troops, while at the same time, German authorities put the blame on the withdrawing Soviet troops who practiced the tactics of scorched earth and blew up all the Kiev bridges over Dnipro. By the way, you can absorb Dnipro river as well. Here you can observe the Motherland Monument. The sculpture is a part of the National Museum of the History of Ukraine in the Second World War. The stainless steel statue stands 62 meters tall upon the museum main building, with the overall structure measuring 102 meters, including its base, and weighing 560 tons. The sword in the statue's right hand is 16 meters long, weighing 9 tons, with the left hand holding up a 13 by 8 meters shield with the hammer and socle of the Soviet Union. And this is Krestovo-Zdvizhenska Church of Ukrainian Orthodox Church. This is the Refectory Church. Is a refectory and an adjoining church of Saint Anthony and Theodosius. In the refectory, the Lavra monks had their meals. The building was constructed in 1893 to 1895, at a time when more than 1,000 monks were living within the monastery. That's the view on the modern Pechersk district. Right now, we are looking at All Saints Church of Ukrainian Orthodox Church, which was erected in 1696 to 1698, is a fine specimen of Ukrainian Baroque architecture. Characteristic of the church facades are rich architectural embellishments. In 1905, students of the Lavra Art School painted the interior walls of the church. The carved wooden iconostasis is multi-tiered and was made for the All Saints Church in the early 18th century. Near Great Bell Tower, you can find holy water ciborium that was built in 1897 by architect Volodymyr Nikolaev, as well as fragment of northern wall of the Dormition Cathedral of the 11th-12th centuries. Let's take a look inside the Dormition Cathedral and find what's inside. The Great Lavra Church was one of the largest monuments of ancient Rus architecture in terms of size. It was a six-pillared cross-domed single-top temple with three naves, which ended with apses from the east. The pillars had a cross-sectional shape. The space under the dome is very wide, more than in St. Sophia Cathedral. The proportions of the width to the length of the temple 2:3 became canonical for other temples of ancient Russia. The facades were decorated with flat pilasters and semicircular windows between them. In the external decor, brick ornaments called meander phrases. In ancient times, a square baptismal was adjacent to the north of the temple. The inner central part was decorated with mosaics, including oranta. The rest of the walls were frescoed. According to the Kiev Pechersk Patericon, one of the authors of the mosaics could be the monk Alipi of the caves. The tombstone of Prince Constantine of Ostrog is a rare example of Ukrainian sculpture, a vivid expression of the Sarmatian ideology of the second half of the 16th century, made in the spirit of the traditions and moods of the Italian Renaissance. After Dormition Cathedral, I went in the Refectory Church. The sturdy dome of the church incorporates some aspects of ancient Byzantium. The interior decoration of the building was designed by Alexei Shukchev. The marble icons are in Neo-Russian style. The paintings in both of the refectory and the church, painted in the beginning of the 20th century by Ivan Yashkevich, G. Popov, among many others, contain a modernist influence. In the rear of the refectory is viewing area, providing visitors with a panorama of the near and far caverns, the Dnieper River, and the left bank of the city. In 1911, following the assassination of Pyotr Stolypin, the Russian politician's funeral service was held in the Refectory Church, and his grave is located in the Lavra. After all the great architecture I've already seen, I had my way towards the most holy place in Kiev Pechersk Lavra, Holy Caves. The Kiev Pechersk Lavra caverns are a system of narrow underground corridors, about 1.5 meters wide and 2.5 meters high, along with numerous living quarters and underground chapels. In 1051, the monk Antony settled in an old cave in a hill near the Kiev Pechersk Lavra. This cave received additions including corridors and a church, and is now the Far Caves. In 1057, Antony moved to a cave near the Upper Lavra, now called the Near Caves. Foreign travelers in the 16th-17th centuries wrote that the catacombs of the Lavra stretched for hundreds of kilometers, reaching as far as Moscow and Novgorod, spreading awareness of the Kiev Pechersk Lavra. I was deeply impressed by the fact that such personalities as Nestor the Chronicler and Ilya Muromets are buried here along with other more than 120 saints. Nestor the Chronicler was the reputed author of the Rus Primary Chronicle, the earliest East Slavic letopis. Life of the Venerable Theodosius of the Kiev Caves, and account about the life and martyrdom of the blessed passion bearers Boris and Gleb. Ilya Muromets, or Ilya of Murom, is one of the Bogatyr's epic knights in Belinas of Kievan Rus. He is often featured alongside fellow Bogatyrs Dobrina Nikitich and Alyosha Popovich. Remains of Sviatoslav II Yaroslavich, we talked about already before, are also rest here in near caves, as well as Antony of the Kiev, also called Antony of the Caves, around 983-1073, that was a monk and the founder of the monastic tradition in Kievan Rus. Together with Theodosius of the Kiev, he co-founded the Kiev-Pechersk Lavra, Kiev Monastery of the Caves. Among the shrines located in the Lavra caves are mere streaming heads of god-pleasers unknown by name. One of the heads may belong to Pope Clement I, also known as Saint Clement of Rome, is listed by Irenaeus and Tertullian as the Bishop of Rome, holding office from 88 AD to his death in 99 AD. He is considered to be the first apostolic father of the Church, one of the three chief one together with Polycarp and Ignatius of Antioch. The near caves contain the underground church of Saint Antony, the church of the entry of the Mother of God into the temple, and the Saint Varlaam church. The near caves and far caves are connected by a long corridor called gallery, where you can observe modern art pictures of Kiev and Lavra. The far caves contain a lot of holy remains as well. So that was my first experience of investigating Kiev-Pechersk Lavra, and only thing I can say, you should definitely go there if you'll ever be in Kiev. Trust me, you won't regret. Stay in touch. I have a lot to show you about Kiev and another holy place and architectural monument of Kievan Rus called St. Sophia Cathedral. Thanks for watching. Good luck.